yeah, like I am well, I forgot what the quote was. It was from a movie, but it escapes me right now. Like most of the time, it's just weird random facts still show up. People like, oh yeah, I remember this quote, and then I don't remember all of it and forget most of it and say it incorrectly. But that's my charm. Say something, mother.
Welcome to the Rubber Duck Syndicate. Oh, is telling us all about his peculiar charm.
Oh my God. It's like you were just like.
Yeah. I wasn't going to stop you.
I dislike any of
Like,
that.
no, wait. Let him cook.
Yeah, if I was like trying to make a valid point, I was just BSing right now.
As opposed to what we ordinarily do.
Well, sometimes you have other stuff to put on top of the BS. Or like we just kind of layered BS on top
I
of each
had
other.
nothing. Frankly, I didn't even, I kind of thought we weren't recording today. Otherwise, I would be wearing more than my simple T-shirt. Because you see, he put on a button-down shirt. He's all dressed up.
Well, I have a T-shirt underneath, but I don't like showing my neck. It's just
Fear of
anything.
vampires.
Well, if a vampire's gonna come after me, I'm easy pickings. I know that. Like for vampires, zombies, werewolves, anything of the supernatural, I am not going to survive. Most of you won't either, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of confidence in themselves, and I understand it. I'm glad that they do, but you surviving in a zombie apocalypse is not going to happen. There are reasons why there are millions and millions of zombies, and then just a few amount of survivors.
Well, I mean, I used to think that was kind of far-fetched. Like, like really, like it has to be a little bit more, sensible than that for people to survive. Because like zombies have the basic rules. Like they're usually slow-moving, although there are some fast-moving zombies in some movies.
Yeah, like
which are
20,
extra fucking scary.
Yeah, 28 days later,
Yeah.
and like there's one based in Alaska, something like that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Go ahead.
But yeah, these slombies, these slow-moving zombies, they have solid rules. So like you just need to avoid large groups.
Yes.
And you need to make sure you're not cornered. So basically, it becomes a matter of like finding a safe or defensible spot with plenty of food. So as long as you can get to a safe space, you can ride out the zombie apocalypse. But then I saw how we dealt with COVID in the United States, and I realized we are all doomed.
Yeah, we all are really kind of doomed because even the preppers, the ones that saved all this ammo and canned food and things like that, yeah, they didn't make it either. Like, well, not so much like, well, yeah, there was a fortunate number of people that got caught with COVID and passed away, but even the people that prepped for longevity of like, oh, I'm not going to.
They still got COVID.
They still got COVID, but also the fact that they couldn't be without most of societal norms. So them going to the grocery store or doing this or actually going out, they lost their shit.
Oh yeah, it is kind of ironic that the people that are most focused on a potential catastrophic end of days kind of event wouldn't notice something like that. Like, you think they would be more inclined to believe something like COVID was the coming of the end, and not less inclined. But it seems to have worked out the other way.
Yeah. So, but I'm aware of who I am and my abilities. Yeah, I'm not surviving any of that stuff. So, if I hear a rumbling about a zombie apocalypse, vampires, werewolves, anything supernatural, I'm like, oh, let me just go. Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna fight them, but I'm not also gonna just like give up crazy easily. Like just
vampire apocalypse. I'm just gonna start eating really bad.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna have like you want me? You're gonna eat me? You're getting diabetes.
Diabetes. Kids, if you don't know,
Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
Look it up.
Yeah,
That's enough of that.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
They can figure it out from context.
Yeah, they'll go from there.
Yeah, diabetes.
Yeah, and Cocoon. Watch Cocoon.
Cocoon is actually a solid movie.
It is. Cocoon is a very solid movie. There was another one that he was in that it kind of had a similar feel, and you may know what it was. Like,
well, there were two Cocoon movies.
Well, aside from Cocoon, like another movie that was like in the 80s that had a kind of feel to it. Like,
Well, in defense of your argument, Wilford Brimley has looked the same his entire career. So,
yeah.
Every movie he was in, he looks exactly like you remember Wilford Brimley.
You want to know how old he was in Cocoon?
He was probably 20. I think he came out of the womb like with a mustache.
I think he was supposed to be around like early 50s, like maybe 51, 52. But he was supposed to be like in a retirement home I'm like, that seems off.
Was his character supposed to be in 50s?
No, his character was supposed to be like in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, okay.
So he was just, he's playing older, but he looked the parts.
I mean, I don't know. I think he naturally had white hair. I think he just might have always had white hair.
True, like he may have always had white hair, but there's another actor who's always had white hair, but I never saw him as being old until now, is Steve Martin. Like
Steve Martin has not always had white hair. I just saw a clip of him the other day where he has dark hair, and it's fucking weird. Like, he looked like a baby.
Yeah, he like I think he had like not jet black hair. I think I know what the picture like he's holding his banjo.
No, it was an old stand-up bit of his.
Oh, okay.
Just very early stand-up, and before he got big, I mean, his hair turned white very early on, but he was not born with it.
Okay, yeah, but I've always kind of known him for white hair.
Yeah.
So that's how I was kind of seeing it, or like I guess salt and pepper hair, but mostly white.
Yeah, I mean, he's had white hair for a long time. I think he had white hair in Three Amigos, so he had white hair in the 80s, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So.
Oh man!
If anyone was tracking, Steve Martin's hair color over the decades, please, write in.
I think the best person to ask about that is Steve Martin. Steve Martin, you have an open invitation to come onto the Rubber Duck Syndicate podcast and talk about your hair, and that's it. We don't want any other information.
You realize the only way Steve Martin would come on our podcast if he saw something and decided to screw with us about it? I mean,
I wish he would.
Yeah.
He's like, I got Only Murders in the Building. I have other movies going on. I think he has his own successful podcast, and he's like, you know what?
But these guys annoyed me so much, I'm going to their garage.
He's like those guys that only have, I believe the last time I checked, well, depending on what you watch this on, we got maybe about 10 subscribers.
We have subscribers?
Yeah.
We have subscribers.
Yes.
Wow. And like,
we
have 10 subscribers. There's, one of them that's not a bot.
Yeah. One of them is like, well, two of them are people that I have no idea who they are.
Then chances are those are my friends.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, well.
Because I sent out the link to, a bunch of people. And some of them even acknowledged it.
Oh, they probably acknowledged it. They're like, you're alive? Because we want to let you know, folks, Daniel does nothing on social media.
Yeah, I've not been on Facebook for like 3 years until like last week. And it's just as awful as I remember.
And he still does not want to do it, even though he really needs to.
No, I tried, and I got back on, and I updated a little bit of stuff, and I got back in touch with people. Like, apparently I had messages from like 2 years ago that I responded to.
Oh my goodness, man.
In my defense, most people don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, because most people are on social medias, like via Facebook, Instagram, TikToks, things like that. They are there. You have to kind of reach out to them. Yes, I know that you have like people's phone numbers and emails and things, but sometimes it's just kind of easy to be like, hey, they posted a picture of their sandwich. Thumbs up.
I have to post pictures of sandwiches now?
Or ducks, or whatever you feel like.
I mean, I'm slightly more comfortable posting pictures of ducks, given that we have the theme going on.
Yeah, well, no, that's for our OnlyFans. So, like, it's just us in provocative duck pictures.
Get your duck pics.
Get your duck pics.
Yeah.
There's not mistype.
Y'all think we're kidding about this, but no, this is on our, not a 5-year plan. This is like part of our architecture that we have laid out for this podcast. Is we are probably going to end up doing.
Yeah, we're going to. We're working on getting more socially out there and putting more stuff out there. So we are working on that. Yeah, we are working on that. I'm trying my best. Daniel needs to get a little bit more on board too with it.
I tried. TikTok is. I mean, I don't understand how people don't just like spontaneously stroke out from TikTok.
They do stroke out on there.
We're using the terms in different meanings here, folks.
Yeah, there are people that, there are people that have, I guess, what they would probably call thirst talks. So essentially, it's just thirst traps, TikTok thing.
Why don't I get any of those? The algorithm is just showing me like clips of The Big Bang Theory.
Because they think that you like The Big Bang Theory.
I do, but I also like, what it's called?
Thirst traps.
Yeah, it's like I too am thirsty. Am I not?
Am
I using that wrong?
You are very thirsty, sir.
It's been a long, dry run.
You have a crazy amount of thirst that like Gatorade cannot quench. So the thirst traps are out there for you. I'm not sure if you have to search it or if I'm not even sure how the algorithm really kind of works in that way. It's very weird.
I get the impression that anything you look at for longer than like a second it says, all right, yeah, flag that, even more of that.
Yes.
So
that's kind of how it goes.
Which is kind of annoying because I do enjoy the Big Bang Theory clips and all the other random stuff that it is. Well, I guess less random. All the stuff that the algorithm has decided that I like because I was paying more attention to it. But occasionally I'll pay attention to something that I'm just like. And I'm looking at it out of morbid curiosity and terror as opposed to actual genuine interest. And then I get more of that, like, no.
Yeah, we'll see like if you stay on there for more than a few seconds, that means you gave some attention to it, and the algorithm is like, oh, you hung on to this for maybe a couple of seconds longer. Maybe you want more of this. So
I also have the lingering fear because I'm only on TikTok with the official Rubber Duck Syndicate account. Mm-hmm. So I also have this nagging voice back in my head saying like, okay, whatever you look at is going to be part of the Rubber Duck Syndicate's algorithm forever, and O is one day going to log in and see, and so I have to behave on TikTok.
Well, log into TikTok more, create more videos, and then we'll see what happens with it. But I got subjects, or unless you want to talk about something else. Because guess what? I write stuff down. All right. Let's go with, talk about a song you will want played at your funeral, sir.
A song I want to play at my funeral?
Yeah. You're dead. And your parents will be like, oh no. My baby boy is dead. Oh my God.
You're assuming I'm going to die before my parents?
Yes.
Like you got a knife behind your back or something?
No.
Yeah, song I would want played at my funeral.
No, because the way we live, we are going to, like, well, I am. Your parents will outlive me. Yes.
Yeah, we got to fix that, dude.
I don't know. I'm just fat and I'm going to die. It's going to happen.
Yeah, but like, dude, you're no good to us dead.
Yeah.
Like, the podcast is going to be noticeably different when you die.
Yeah, because no one's editing anything. It's just going to be raw video. No edits or nothing. No content anywhere.
Yes, yeah. O will die and we'll have to get by on my raw charisma, talking to no one.
It's not going to get posted anywhere because you don't log in information. Which I think I provided to you anyway.
Yeah, I have the login information. It's just only some of it works.
All right. Your death song, sir.
My death song.
Yes.
At my funeral. Well, there's the old joke about having a closed casket funeral, then having the Jack in the Box music play, and just keep doing that over and over again. Which, if I ever have a closed casket funeral, I would seriously consider that. Yes. Everybody gets slowly more and more nervous.
It just like slows down every once in a while. I know I hit you with the important question.
Yeah, I was like, should I go for the joke on this, or just like one of those real things?
It could be the joke one. It could be real. Whatever. People just want to know information out there.
I mean, I have lots of music that I like. I haven't really, categorized anything in writing anywhere. But I mean, the funeral ain't for me. It's like if I'm the dead one, I don't care what music is played.
Yeah,
I want whatever music people associate with me. Which will probably be Van Halen and the Helen Keller song.
Really?
Yeah, because those are the ones most closely associated. Oh, maybe the Humpty Dance, because I do that at karaoke all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Imagine the Humpty Dance playing at my funeral.
No, I think he passed, didn't he?
Yeah, Shock G, he died a couple years ago.
Yeah, I just kind of thought about that. I was like, oh, we can get Shock G. I was like, nah, he died I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But I'll just get you the glasses and the nose and put that on you in your closed casket.
Yeah, that'll track.
Yeah, well, I thought about that because a couple years ago I wrote a sketch called Fire Festival.
I think I remember reading that.
Yeah. So I wrote this, I guess, due to the Fire Festival and just some young kids dying there. And they had crazy ass names. It was Jacob, Gargleballs, Gibson, and some other things. But
of the Chicago Gargle Balls?
Well, no, that was his nickname. It was Jason Gargleballs Gibson.
Okay.
That's his
I thought it was a hyphenate.
No.
I thought Miranda Gibson and Jonathan Gargleballs got married and then produced Jacob. They're a very progressive couple.
They both just hyphen their names. They're oh. No, it was just all these kids died at the Fire Festival. They all had, they were all pretty much terrible. They all had crazy nicknames, and they all had very inappropriate songs that were their last songs. So one was the, I Touch Myself. One, when I think about you, I touch myself. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and that one was the Friends theme. So then, the song's playing, it's oh, no one's going to tell you, life's going to be this way.
It was all about the fast clapping.
Yeah. So it was all different songs like that kind of just made me think about it again because I was talking to someone that was part of that, and I thought about the one I wrote. I was like, oh, what song would people want played at their funeral? Because I think traditionally, a lot of people go with that, unfortunately, the Arms of the Angel one.
Or the Please Donate for Our Pets song?
Yeah, sometimes a lot of people still play that, at funerals. I'm
it's like the people that, the songs that are played completely inappropriately at wedding receptions all the time. I've ranted about this on numerous occasions, but
rant about it now.
Yeah, it's Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, and
that's
every breath you take or every step you take.
Yeah, that
by
one's...
the Police. Yeah, so the Cyndi Lauper song "Time After Time" is a literal breakup song. Although it's one of the kinder breakups that you might have.
Yes.
It's a supportive breakup song, but it's every step you take, every step you take. That is literally about being stalked. Sting was being stalked by an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife, and he wrote that song about I'll be watching you. So that is a creepy song with a much lighter sound to it than you would expect from the lyrics.
Yeah, and some people just kind of mistake that. They're oh yeah. Because there were a lot of people that kind of thought oh, he's thinking about the birth of his kid or his daughter, and every step you take, I'm going to be. They're no, it was a much darker context.
A lot of straight up love songs in the past, even the ones that were directly intended to be love songs, come across as creepy as hell now. We're going to come into Christmas season again soon. Everyone knows that there was a big internet uproar about it a couple years ago about Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yeah.
Which is, as far as jazzy songs go, it is better than most Christmas carols. Let's put it that way. But the lyrics are definitely about date rape. But at the time, it was just a cheeky kind of back and forth. And really, it depends on how you empathize with the female character in the song. Like if you think, oh, she's playing along, she's really into the joke, and they're already in a relationship, and they're just being coy with each other, then it's kind of an adorable, quirky little romantic song. But if you think that, oh no, this is just some guy trying to keep a girl in his home to increase the chances that she'll sleep with him, then that comes across as incredibly dark and creepy.
Yes, it really does. And that's why people had so many problems with that song more recently than anything. But it's also weird that there was a comedian that made a joke about that, going back and forth between the lyrics of that and WAP.
I don't know. I know what WAP is. I think I've heard it at least, but I don't know any of the lyrics.
Yeah, you don't whatever you think the lyrics are. It's far more worse than you think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know what the abbreviation stands for. So,
yeah, we're not going to say it out
which
loud.
I know, but also, I mean, I get that using ass as like a suffix or whatever, adding on. It's just it's an emphasis kind of word, but those three words should not be together.
I really don't think it should, but maybe that's what some people crave. They're like, that's what I want. Hey, you're the one desiring that. I'm not me. There are people out there. I'm not the one. Don't you want just dripping wet with Gristle and stuff? I don't know.
Gristle!
I don't know what comes out of there. I'm assuming if it's wet, maybe it has some gristle or some little stickiness to it.
Speaking of abrupt segues, we are not talking about this anymore.
Oh, we're going to talk about you even more right now.
Oh, hell no. Go to the next thing on the list. Absolutely not.
All right.
We might not even be able to upload this episode. That is so unsettling.
Well, they don't know. We didn't mention it directly, so they don't know. It is your
On
determination.
behalf of humanity, I would like to apologize for O.
No, don't need to apologize for me. I said it. There is no takebacks. I said everything. And all this stuff we already talked about before on previous podcasts, this is probably not the worst. I have family and friends out there that are finding out oh, it's weird as hell.
How does anyone not know that by now?
Depending on the context.
It's not like you hide it. You're not like fucking Yoda. It's like, oh, hi, good evening. Nice to meet you, sir. And then, as soon as they turn their back...
That's what Yoda does?
When your back is turned? Absolutely.
I've never seen Yoda do that in Star Wars.
That's because your back wasn't turned. You watch Star Wars and you look away from the screen, Yoda does that all the time.
Yoda is just going wild in the background. He's like, oh, we always just see him being peaceful and slow. No,
you've seen the scene where, in one of the prequels, where it's the CGI Yoda and he throws nasty with a lightsaber, just starts bouncing around, killing everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can do it.
I've seen that, but I didn't think he was going.
I mean, yeah, if you zoomed in and you could hear his internal monologue while he's, slashing people down.
Okay. We'll move away from that. I'll move away from the Gristle. You move away from Crazy Yoda. Okay. Because there's a couple of different things that I want here. We're not going to go through all of them. But there's something I want to talk about that is very important. All right?
Is it?
No.
Moving on.
I was making a clip from another podcast, and that was on there. I was like, I can't put that out there in a little clip. I want to, but
it's going to be in every third episode.
It's going to be. All right.
If you don't know what we just referred to, you are probably better off for not having watched previous episodes.
I want to talk about the movie Hook.
Hook. Oh, Dustin Hoffman
Yes.
absolutely sells it.
Yes, I love that version of. I love that movie because it came out when maybe like 92, 93,
I think it was
I think.
90, yeah, something, or maybe 94.
Okay, so whenever it was, I was between the ages of like say 9 to 10 or whatever, around that age.
You were a little low.
I was a little. I was still fat, but just shorter. So came out, watched it. I want to be that one fat kid that had the beret.
The dude that rolls down.
Yeah, I wanted to be him. I was like, oh, I
Can't remember
want
what
to be
his
him.
name was.
I forget. Someone in the comments gonna say they're like, you don't know his name. Put some respect on us. I was like,
Tell us, internet.
yes, please tell us. Anyways, I've had this idea in my mind for a while, and maybe told like one other person. I may have told you, but that movie is fucked up in a little bit of ways.
There's some dark shit in that movie.
There's a lot of ways that's fucked up because
I remember, like, I think, oh, it's the Peter Pan movie. I watched it when I was a kid. And like, yeah, that first scene with the boo box, where they take a guy that really, he hadn't done anything wrong. He just, I think he had maybe expressed some doubt about whether Captain Hook could do this impossible thing, and so for that they put him in the boo box, which is locking him in a little box and then dropping scorpions in it and shouting boo.
yeah, it's all kinds of messed up. But even darker than that, do you know the? I guess there's like some lore or like I guess some fan fiction or whatever it may be about Peter Pan that they possibly made up. That Peter Pan was actually kidnapping kids and not letting them go back home.
I haven't heard this. This is a dark fan theory.
Yeah, it's a dark fan theory saying that like it was either that Peter Pan was like sneaking in at night, telling these kids that they can fly.
I mean, that's depending on how you put on your point of view for the original story. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Like, it was this weird runaway kid sneaked into people's windows and said, "Hey, kids, let's run away."
Yeah, let's run away. Let me put some of this fairy dust on you, Coke. Put some of this dust on you, you can fly. So maybe it was actually kidnapping kids and they can fly but never can actually return because it only worked when Tinkerbell put the dust on them. But if they got to the island and Tinkerbell wasn't going to dust them, they can't swim back.
Well, they never really, I guess, covered objectively how long the dusting lasts. Because I thought the Lost Boys were supposed to be able to fly the whole time they were on the island.
You think they would, but this is going to tie into like my idea, because those Lost Boys were still there after Peter left. Robin Williams, they were still there. They still remembered him. He grew up about 30 years.
Yeah, but those weren't the original Lost Boys. The only original Lost Boy in that movie was Toodles, who was the old man at the end. Yeah, I've lost my marbles. That guy.
Yeah,
yeah. But so they were all new Lost Boys. So the implication was that Peter or Tinkerbell or somebody was still collecting lost children and bringing them to the island. But for some reason, none of them could fly anymore, even though Tinkerbell was there.
Yeah, but maybe
Plot hole.
Possibly. But yeah, like if they still had the ability to fly, you didn't think they would have just flown off instead of just like starving eating this, blue and pink fluff.
Well, they were starving. It was never food. They were feasting.
Yeah, they were feasting, but
they were in a literal children's wonderland. The only downside was evil pirates trying to kill you, which admittedly is a solid downside.
Now, were they trying to kill them or were they trying to take them back home?
They never really explained what the pirates' motivations were.
Yeah.
Or, in fact, how the pirates came to Wonderland. Maybe that's in the original story, but that seems to be an interesting detail. It goes, okay, this is a magical place where lost children go. Also, adult murderous pirates.
Yeah, but the thing is, but this is part of the theory. Like, I didn't read completely into it. I just kind of read the brief notes of it. So, Hook is actually good. He wants to kill Peter Pan. And we kind of
Who is a child abductor.
Who is a child abductor. He wants to kill Peter Pan from abducting children. Childs. Yes, I know. Shut up.
Save the giblets.
With
Not
the
that
Gristle.
child's.
With the Gristle.
With the Gristle. There's nothing left on that plate but gristle and fat.
Still gotta eat it. That movie's great.
The old 96er.
Yes. Anyways, so Hook really wants to kill Peter Pan, not the other kids. He wants to get rid of Peter Pan most of the time, like when he says throughout the story. But the other kids, maybe he actually wants to save them. Because, like, Peter abducted these kids, and he wants to save them, but he has to kill Peter. He knows Peter is going to keep doing this thing unless he...
But there's a slight hole in that fan theory in that Peter was gone for 30 years and Hook didn't save any kids.
True. That is true. Okay. But getting back to it. Peter's gone for 30 years. Marble Guy's still there. He still remembers Peter. But guess who steps up in the role?
Rufio.
Yes. Rufio steps up and tries to help out the Lost Boys. And here's where it gets messed up in my mind. This is a kind of a like DEI situation. So
go on.
Calm down, man.
No, I really want to see where you're going with this.
Okay. So Peter just pieces out, doesn't say anything. He's like, I'm gone. I'm going to live with Wendy now. I'm going to have kids. I'm going to be boring as fuck. So then...
It was Mora. It was Mora.
Mora?
Yeah, Wendy was the grandmother.
Ah, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Amazing, the random details I can't forget.
Yeah. So he pieces out, leaves the Lost Boys. They got no leadership. Rufio steps up. And he's killing it. He's like, I'm doing this. I'm fighting Hook. We're doing all these things. And they're having fun. Peter comes back. Rufio's like, where the fuck you been? And he's like, I don't want this role anymore. And then, Peter just kind of does whatever. Takes over the role again. Rufio was doing a great job. And he's like, yeah, I know you're doing a good job. I'm going to just take back over, okay? Thanks. Bye. Appreciate you. And it gets Rufio killed. I'm like, you bastard. You leave for 30 plus years, then come back and just step back into your role and get this guy killed? You an a-hole.
I get that you're supporting the fan theory, but it is interesting that you are blaming Peter Pan for getting Rufio killed instead of Hook, who literally killed him.
Yeah.
The idea that...
Well, he was fighting Hook years and years and years until...
Yeah, but the math doesn't track.
Okay.
So assume that we're right about someone, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, whoever, consistently bringing in new Lost Boys.
Yes.
So the Lost Boys' ranks are replenishing over time.
All right.
And they say they killed pirates, and I'm pretty sure they actually kill some pirates, at least in the movie, but they say they killed pirates. So they've been killing pirates. Are the pirates getting reinforcements? Because there are still a lot of pirates. And they are still absolutely willing to fight. So you'd think that, is there somebody sneaking new pirates in as well?
I got an idea. Well, if some of the Lost Boys getting older
become pirates. Now, see, there is a fun take on the story that someone should explore. Like, what happens when the Lost Boys grow up? But that's the thing. You're not supposed to grow up if you're Never Neverland. That was the whole point.
True.
So it would have to be the ones that failed, or Neverland failed them, or something like that, or for some reason something would have to cause them to grow up.
But the thing is, like you mentioned it, so the only person that remembered Peter from 30 years ago was only the one dude. But
no.
If the Lost Boys never grow up, none of them should have been older.
So Toodles though was one of the Lost Boys that left with Peter. So he was the old man in London or wherever the hell they were.
Okay.
So he was the one at the very end. He gives them his marbles back, and it's got fairy dust in it. So he goes off flying to Neverland again. But it's like something happened to the other Lost Boys. I don't know if they all left with Peter or if they were all killed by pirates or something. They never really explained that. But there's a bunch of new Lost Boys that have come since the first Peter Pan story. So either before he left, or either after he left, or at some time before. We don't know exactly when he left after the original story, because I think the original story might end with him falling in love with Mora, who is Wendy's daughter.
Okay.
And so that's when he decides to stay. So we don't know exactly when that was. Well, obviously it was a generation after he met Wendy, and she went back. But We don't know what happened to the original batch of Lost Boys, or whether they were in fact the first batch of Lost Boys, and they just been there might be some great conspiracy, and in fact Peter is the only one who doesn't grow old, and everyone else just he harvests their youth.
That could be a thing. There are like many dark theories, like him kidnapping kids and like taking them to the Neverland, but also him sneaking in, telling him like, "Oh, I'm Peter Pan. I never get older. Let me sprinkle this dust on you. You can fly." And he jumps out the window, but has a wire on him, so he jumps out and looks like he's flying. Tells other kids to come out,
and they die.
Yes,
that is super dark. Now, how does he do the whole "oh, my shadow ran away from me" gag?
Kids are dumb, so he could just like have like a flashlight or something. I don't know.
This is extraordinarily dark.
It is.
Yeah.
Like most stories that like we kind of know from Disney are very dark, but Disney really kind of lightens them up. Because I think we've talked...
Like Song of the South.
Oh, God. That was just dark period. Like in many kind of ways. But like another one, I think we talked about before, The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
You know about the I guess the darker version of that?
Well, there's the literal version of that in which Ursula technically has done nothing wrong.
Yes.
She honors the contract that she made.
Yeah, we talked about the book before in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I talked about the actual story, the original story.
That Hans Christian Andersen?
I think so.
I think it was Hans Christian Andersen. Yeah, there's a statue of her in the harbor of Oslo, I think. From the old fairy tale or whatever, the original Little Mermaid story, but I've never read it.
Okay. Brief of it, and I'm going to tell you guys. I know there's more detail to it, but I'm going to just kind of give you the cliff notes. Ariel, or whatever it may be in the book, really wants to go to land, meet a dude, I guess, have some regular, human sex, probably. Meets Ursula, or whatever it is in the book. It's like, hey, I want to actually go on land and meet a guy. Like, okay, well, I want your voice, and it was like your voice and something else. I forgot the other thing. But she agreed to it, gave her legs, didn't really know how they worked, because, she's always had the tail. Starts walking on land. Ursula, or whoever it may be in the book, fucked around with her, gave her legs, but every time she steps, it feels like she's walking on nails.
I think I remember something like that. Yeah, old fairy tales were just absolutely brutal.
Yeah. So everywhere she walked, it felt like she was walking on nails. Meets a prince, but the prince meets Ursula character, who has Ariel's voice, falls in love with her, marries her. Ariel tries to go back to being a mermaid, can't because Ursula won't give her back the deal. So she stays on land and is just miserable and dies.
Oh, that or she was going to drown. There's not a happy ending there.
No, there is no happy end to that. It is very dark and it's very sad. But it has to get Disney-fied. So she has to find her prince and live happily ever after and all that great stuff, and have a little Jamaican crab.
Little Jamaican crab who is iffy on consent.
What?
The whole song "Kiss the Girl."
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like that is it's a a lovely song, but you listen to the lyrics, it is about making a move on a girl who can questionably consent with no voice.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like where it's definitely meant to be like the lighthearted romantic thing, but if you're out in a boat with a girl and your justification is a crab told me to kiss her. You're going to jail.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you can't get away with that. I guess. Well, you could probably get away with that at that time period, but now, well, it's gonna be a lot different. You're like, oh, I was on a boat with the girl. She came out with me.
Because of the implication.
Because of the implications. Did she say yes? Not exactly, but she gave me the eyes. I'm like, okay. So what happened after that? I went in for a kiss. Why? A little crab told me. That was Jamaican. Jamaican crab told me to kiss her. Jamaican crab. Yeah. Yeah, he got to that flower. Okay, arrest him. Book him. Put him under the jail.
He got into the fairy dust.
He got into that fairy dust. Yeah, because someone says, like, yeah, Jamaican Crab told me to do it. Anything after that, you don't really need to listen to them. What?
And I'm just imagining, like, different lyrics, but, trying to come up with a rhyme for date rape. Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah, it wasn't made to be easy. No, God damn it.
And that seems like enough for today, folks. Have a good one.
Bye.
Remember us.
Remember me.